So for the bottoms on the Lunas, the tread is much more heavy duty. It's a tire tread, so these are going to be way better for climbing like a rocky sort of terrain. So the Z Trek are going to have a lot of bend to them. They're just really going to form around the shape of your foot.
For 20 years, I was what you would call a city slicker. One item in the fridge, unprepared for how fragile our modern system is. I never had a father take me hunting or a military background. I'm not rich, I'm just an everyday dude just like you. But there's more to me than meets the eye. I've been homeless, I've been in jail, I've been mugged, I've been hospitalized. By God's grace, I know how to survive. After 2020, I became obsessed with survival, practicing every day of the week. And I've made the mistakes so you don't have to. Welcome to Everyday Dude Survival.
Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing 3 sandals. Here's the cheapest, the Z Trek from Xero Shoes. Next one up is about $20 more, and that's going to be the Z Trail from Xero Shoes. And lastly, at the highest price point for about $120, you're going to get the Luna sandal. So stick around till the end and I'll tell you which one was the best in my opinion for trail running. So for the bottoms on the Lunas, the tread is much more heavy duty. It's a tire tread, so these are going to be way better for climbing like a rocky sort of terrain. They're a lot thicker too, so they come in 3 levels of thickness. This is the middle level, so it's about as wide as my thumbnail, a little bit less. So you could get them closer to feeling barefoot and then more like feeling like a sneaker. This is right in the middle here. So with these, I noticed they're definitely better for going over rocky terrain. The trail I run has a lot of gravel on it. The Xero can handle it, but I definitely feel less gravel through this. And then there are certain parts that are actually just stones, like, you know, I'd say about the size of maybe like a very large, I would say the size of an avocado nut in the middle. So some of those rocks, the Lunas are just handling really well. The Xero Shoes, I feel it. It hits real hard and it kind of rolls your ankle if you're not careful. So these definitely have the benefit of that. And this could be entirely me, but I mean, every time I have discomfort with this pulling against my toes, I have to sort of loosen this up. And then once I do, it becomes flip-floppy feeling again. So then I get this urge to tighten everything down. And then once it's tightened and fitting well around my foot, this brings me discomfort again. So it could just be me. I might just not understand the system properly. I don't like that I have to watch about 5 different YouTube videos to figure it out. So that's definitely another negative towards these. So the strap system is really just one continuous strap that you have to sort of, you know, pull from different points of the sandal here to figure out your best fit. And then it's got the toe part in the front. So that, for me, I really dislike because it pulls and just yanks down on the inside there. So then when I go to adjust it and kind of move it forward, I have to kind of figure out the science of like which point I'm loosening and tightening. And for some reason, every time I want to move it forward so that my toes come up to the edge, it means I'm going to have to pull this back. And every time I do that, for some reason, it just falls back as soon as I tighten that heel up. So it's kind of a confusing setup, and that's one of the other things I don't like about them. So as you can see, the straps, there's a difference in the straps. They're a little bit nicer. Try to zoom out there. They're hooked on to the sandal a little bit differently here too. This one goes through it, and then this one's kind of got this additional attachment that's attached to the bottom. Big difference in the bottom. You can see how the bottom's just no tread on this. It's collecting all that dirt. There's going to be some more grip on this one. There's bigger tread and it's more spaced out and it's shaped differently. So we'll have a little bit extra on that. You have a slightly thicker bottom. I would say about double the thickness. So the Z Trek are going to have a lot of bend to them. They're just really going to form around the shape of your foot. And so this way, objects that you're stepping on, such as a rock or, you know, anything really, the foot's going to be able to bend around it just like your bare foot would be able to do. They're best suited for this sort of running here on hard packed dirt or some sort of mountain stone. As you get into more of a gravel, such as this sort of stuff on the side here, it's doable. It's just a lot less comfortable because you will hit hard rock at a certain angle, and it just really hurts when it hits that arch of your foot. So you can do it, it's just not ideal. There's still a decent amount of bend in the Z Trail, but not quite as much as the Z Trek. As you can see, as I go over something like this, the bend is definitely significantly less. It's still there though, much more so than a regular sandal, a hiking boot, a sneaker. There's still a bend there. It's just a lot more minimal than the Z Trek. The Z Trek have pretty decent straps. I do like the minimalistic, natural, sort of primitive view that they have. So they're gonna be Velcro on the back. Very simple to figure out the straps here. You just pull this guy to tighten it and pull the back to tighten it if you want to. It's got like a zigzag sort of Z design here. As far as the strap, it's definitely done a great job holding up. I thought that these guys, the Z Trail, had much nicer straps, so the quality of strap is a little bit better. You do get these more, this sort of rubber reinforced strap piece here. The buckles are a little bit nicer on these guys. You don't get that reinforcement, it just goes straight into the rubber or whatever material that is. And so the buckles are about the same on these, but I think the quality is a little bit nicer on the Z Trail here. However, they are a little bit more expensive, and to be honest, the straps have held up really well on these. I noticed on this one it's fraying a little bit right here. It's not the end of the world, but there's definitely a quality difference when you pay a little bit extra for this design. Something to note here, you'll see on the Z Trek, my toes don't quite reach the end, and on the Z Trail they're hanging over a little bit. The Luna Sandals website tells you to buy half a size smaller, and that's what I did on the Xero shoes. However, I couldn't find half sizes. I don't know if they make them or not. So I think this is actually a size 9, and this is a size 10, which is my foot size. Do not do what I did and get a size or a half size down. Get your actual shoe size if you do Xero sandals. What happens when you run is your bones settle and they start to spread out, and your foot actually grows because it goes back to how it's designed to be. So my foot filled out on these pretty well. At the beginning, this lip was bothering me and getting caught on things, but now that my foot's been flattened out, it fills this perfectly. This is not good. My toes are getting blisters on the bottom because this is acting like a friction. So get true to size on the Xero shoes. On the Lunas, get a half size down. When it comes to this stuff, the Luna sandals are going to bulldoze right through it. The Xero Shoes Z Trail is doing okay on it. However, there is some slight discomfort. And the Z Trek is not going to be able to run over this at all without pain. And this is why we don't go barefoot. Because stupid people like to litter and leave things that hurt humans and animals. The Xero Shoes Z Trek will be best in a place like the southwest of the United States, whereas the Luna sandals and the Xero Shoes Z Trail will be better suited towards the southeast of the United States, just because there's so much gnarled roots and tough terrain that you're going to need a little protection to help yourself avoid injury. All right, guys, so here's the final critique. I ended up returning the Luna sandals, not because they're a bad product. They're actually probably better quality than the Xero sandals are, but they're just not fit for the functionality that I need. If you want to do barefoot running, if you want to do primitive skills, if you want to, be like some, Native American tribe that runs long distances and uses tire treads or pieces of leather or something like that for their footwear, the Xero shoes are going to be much closer to something like that, whereas the Luna sandals are much thicker. They're much more hard, so even though their bottoms are like tire treads, they just feel like sandals. You could buy a lot of brands, just fashion sandals like Tevas or something, and they're going to be closer to what the Luna sandals are. They also have the toe thing, and whenever there's a tong between my toes, it drives me nuts. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. It just feels like a saw blade going through my toes while I'm running. The Xero shoes, their sandal style goes over the top of your toes, and that is definitely not a problem. So if you want to do Luna sandals, they're going to be best for, running outside while it feeling like you're wearing a sandal, but you can also go to the gas station, walk into the grocery store, and it's going to be comfortable on the concrete. They may be better suited for a southwest sort of environment where you're running on the Grand Canyon, you're running across hard rock the whole time. You want to climb up some rocks and stuff like that. Although in my video for Epic Mountain Survival, if you go and watch that, these had just enough tread on the bottom to grip the rocks just fine. So, and I actually was able to climb down the rock and have it sort of bend around. So I actually, would still probably prefer the Xero shoes to that. But go ahead, get the Lunas if you want comfort and as far as, being in real world situations like pavement and running where you don't mind feeling like you have a big thick chunk of sandal under you. I really didn't want that. I wanted as close to barefoot as possible. The Xero shoes, the Xero Trek here, a little too thin. If you're going straight into running in sandals, the learning curve is going to be too sharp on this. As you can see, the thinness is, there's just no padding whatsoever, but they are extremely flexible. The material is extremely hard. I don't know what this material is. It feels like some sort of hard leather, maybe some kind of rubber. The Xero Trail is a lot softer. It's a lot thicker. There's some sort of padding on the top here. The cool thing about this is it actually molded to the, I don't know if you can see it in the video here, it molded to the shape of my foot and it stays that way. So my foot was actually sort of, custom melded into it. They have a little bit more grip. I do notice a difference with the tread on this. It's really not a huge one, but it does help a little bit. And because of that cushion top liner, I ended up preferring these on harder gravel and whatnot. Now, also in that Epic's mountain survival video I put out on July 4th, these were what I used for that. So if you want an all-around sandal that's gonna feel a little bit closer to barefoot, still be able to hike a mountain in, but also run on a dirt path, and also go to the grocery store and walk across parking lot and hard tile in a store, I'm gonna say the best all-around is gonna be the Z Trail by Xero shoes. I'm gonna go with these. If you're gonna buy one sandal out of all the three I've gone over, this is the one. This is the absolute winner. It's cheaper than the Luna sandals. It's a little bit more expensive than the Z Trek. Totally worth it. And I would say give yourself, it took me about 6 weeks of a learning curve. There are two main things I did to fix my body. I stopped sitting down all day at work, and I got I didn't get a standing desk. I put a bunch of Lowe's buckets under my desk and made it into a standing desk. This is everyday dude survival. So those desks are really expensive. So now I stand all day long, sometimes in these, most of the time just barefoot on a little bit of a rubber mat in front of my desk. The other thing was switching to these. So the idea with the foam soles is it's giving you this big rise up, and it's making your body not do what it does naturally. You're also running and slamming your heel down because you have that cushion, and it's sending a shock wave up your leg. And what that's doing is really jarring your joints and everything the wrong way, but your body's been trained to get used to that. So when you first start running in these, you're like slapping like a duck, and your knees and everything feel super sore because you're hitting your heel down still. Over a couple weeks, you'll start to hit the center of your foot instead and restore the way your body's supposed to be. And after about 6 to 8 weeks of the running and about 4 weeks of standing at my desk, my knee pain's gone. It doesn't even tweak at all. I just went up a mountain 6 miles, slept there, and went down the mountain 6 miles back with zero knee problems. I couldn't even go a single mile on flat ground here when I first started running without wearing knee braces. I had terrible knee problems. They were always popping and cracking. I'd always have to stick my foot out at the movie theater and like pop my kneecap back into place. That is healed. It's completely gone. I am in way better physical shape now that I've gone more barefoot style. The only reason I don't go totally barefoot, and you shouldn't either in most cases, is there's just human pollution. You got glass bottles. There was a rusty fishing hook the other day when I went camping in the gravel. So these are going to be sufficient to protect you from that. So my final consensus is that the Xero shoes won. So get some Xero sandals. Make sure you get the Z Trail if you're just starting out. These are going to be the most comfortable and the most diverse. And if you want to get mad at me and tell me Luna sandals are great and I don't understand them, that's fine. You can leave that in the comments. I actually get that a lot with my Mora knife bushcraft versus Joker comparo video. By far the most successful video on my channel, and a lot of people were surprised I voted Joker over Mora, even though I have lots of Moras and love them. Same thing I feel like is going to happen with this. People are going to be like surprised that I voted Xero shoes against Luna, but I just think they make a better product. Also, you might be noticing that in some of my other videos I'm a little chunkier and now I look like a twig. I'm very wilted away right now. I just finished a 90-day fast where I was only eating between the hours of 12 and 6, and I would only eat meat and vegetables. I really just had zero sugar and zero carbs after that. So for those 90 days I wilted away. I lost close to 20 pounds, but I need to rebuild my muscle. I'm like just a shrimp right now. So now that that's over, I'll be doing that and conditioning my body a little bit more, but that's that if you want some diet advice while we're at it. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. Please subscribe. I get so many views on these videos, but I need the subscriptions because once I hit 1,000, a bunch of features will be unlocked for YouTube, and I'll be able to do cool things like drop announcements and go live and things like that. So appreciate all the comments, the likes, things that help with the algorithms. And if you like what you see here, please subscribe. Awesome. Thank you.